I feel like every time you turn the TV on, every time you scroll on any sort of social media, anytime you just go on the internet in general for anything, you see different cultures, you see different countries, you see different types of people always in a combative circumstance, whether it be war, whether it be this group of people doesn't like that, whether it be political, religious. There's always some sort of issue with any group of people when when they're not the same. When you do something one way, someone else does something another way, or another group does something another way, and it doesn't align with the ways that you or your group of people, religion, political scheme, race, if it doesn't align with your values, then you see the way that particular culture runs their society, you view it as a negative because it's different. It's not the same as you. And I think there's one, if you haven't noticed by now, this channel is more of just like a journal of like my thoughts and like things that I think about, like random. But I believe this one thing will resolve all the issues, all the societal, political, religious issues that we run into. And that's, if you can, at a young age, that's being able to travel, that's being able to go to different places. I'm from the United States, so I had the luxury of going to different countries at a young age, witnessing different things, different customs, different cultures, different how people just ran society that was different than how we run it here, especially being in New York. But the one luxury that I'm very grateful for that I was able to have is being able to travel. And I feel like if you're able to travel at a young age, especially, I know it costs money. I know not everyone has that luxury, but if you're able to travel at a young age, witness different people and how they function, it would make the world. It would resolve any issue that ever would happen in the world. Because for me, when I originally just started going to these countries, I would view the outside country that I'm visiting, I'd view it as weird. Like, why do they do these things? Why do they eat this certain type of meal? Why do they do this sort of chant? Why are they doing this? Why don't they eat this type of meat? I'm just like, that's weird. We don't do that by us. We don't do those things. And I'm just questioning everything about what I'm witnessing, because at a young age, you're naturally curious. But on top of that, you're visiting an area that you're not fond of. You're visiting an area that's new to you, so you naturally have curiosity about what's going on. Like, this is weird. At first, that's the mentality at first. And being from the U.S., especially being from the States, people from the U.S. feel like the United States is the best place in the world. They feel like no other country can compete. They're a little too, I don't know the word for it, but they're a little too like, there's no problem loving your country, but they're too like, we're superior, we're the best at everything. And often those people who have that mindset haven't really explored other places, haven't really seen other things. They just know what they know. They haven't really traveled, visited other places. Because if you visit other places, you know, the U.S. is not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's a good place to be. Don't get me wrong. Back to my point of traveling at a young age, traveling at a young age. As I mentioned, I viewed those things as weird, as not normal. But then as you grow and as you learn and as you get more indulged into the culture, you realize this is just how they do things. Like this is just a part of the world. Not every place in the world is going to run their city exactly how you run it in your home city. And that's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of just having such a large world. If everything were the same, it'd be boring. If everything were identical, there would be no point to even travel because then it's going to be the same exact way over there, over here. But if you're able to travel at a young age, you're more accepting of people that are different. You're more, you're not as harsh because just because they're different doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because they do something different doesn't mean it's bad. It's just different. That's all it is at the end of the day. They just run their lifestyle different. It doesn't have to be how you run it. It doesn't have to be how your country runs it or your city, your state. And people get so people who haven't had this luxury to go different places. You could always tell someone who like that person that gets along with everyone, that person that no matter what group they're in, they just get along. Like you all know that one person that just no matter what group they encounter, what type of person, what type of people they encounter, they always end up having a good time because it doesn't matter to them because they're just so used to being around all sorts of people. And also being from the city that I am from, we had people from all sorts of different backgrounds, all sorts of different backgrounds. Some people, I went to college in Connecticut, and a lot of the people I had conversation with, they said, yeah, like 90% of their, 95% of their school was like white kids, 95% of their school, they probably had two black kids, two Hispanic kids, and like one Asian kid. And then that was it. That was the diversity. But we had a little bit of everything in our school. Being strictly, I don't want to use the term just white because you can be like Italian, Irish. You can be there's all sorts of white, but a lot of the white was the minority in my school. We had a little bit of everything, so people got along with everyone because you grew up around all different cultures, all different foods, like people speaking different languages. Like they're not fluent saying like Spanish, but like they know Spanish terms because they're around Hispanic people that speak Spanish. They're cultured, I guess you could say. A lot of people from New York City, I would say, are cultured people because they're so. It's just such a diverse place. But if you have the opportunity to go somewhere different, view something, and just go outside the box a little bit, it would solve all the issues in the world. Because when we notice something that's not the same as our thinking or how we do things, we look at it as a threat. Like if you see something unusual, you view it as a threat. That's just like natural human instinct. But when you actually get to know the person or get to know the thing that you're weary about or that you're nervous about, you realize you're stressed over nothing. So I think being able to travel different countries visiting different countries at a young age definitely helped my outlook on just life. A lot of people just grow up in the same city, do the same things, around the same type of people who think the same, and then they just get stuck in those ways. And then if someone comes along that thinks a little bit differently, then there's a whole situation. Uh, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. This is just me. This is like my virtual journal. I think it would solve a lot of issues in the world, but do what you must with this video. If it helps you, you know, we'll have more videos on the way. Just more about life, and just like that abstract type of thinking. But stay tuned. I'm gonna try to drop a couple times a week. Just grab the camera and just speak my mind. So if you like that type of stuff, stay tuned. Peace out.